Hello and welcome back to Dukascopy TV. I'm Elaine Stenson and today I'm joined in studio by wealth management consultant Osmond Plummer, who's here to discuss Swiss banking. Osmond, you're very welcome.
Thank you for the invite.
So we're going to be looking at Swiss banking. Is Switzerland trying to lose its reputation as a tax haven?
Switzerland for private money has always had two purposes. There are people who have wealth and live in countries where the government is potentially corrupt, potentially prone to confiscating assets, and those clients need to have the protections that Switzerland can afford in terms of discretion and protection of private assets. However, the days in which somebody from the US, for instance, or from France or Germany could bury their money in a bank account in Switzerland and not tell the authorities about it and avoid paying taxes illegally are going to be behind us.
Why are these days behind us? What has changed?
The big thing that changed really was a few years ago when the United States forced Union Bank of Switzerland to declare the assets of certain US individuals that the US government suspected of holding assets in Switzerland. And that put a big crack in Swiss banking secrecy, and the Swiss government has now said if a foreign government, certain foreign governments come to them with named people that they suspect of tax avoidance and tax evasion, legal tax evasion, they will provide information.
And how has this affected Swiss banking in a negative way?
It's affected a lot of the private banks. The cost of doing business has gone up. A lot of the banks are very concerned that if they have money that is undeclared, they may find themselves subject to lawsuits. This was the big threat that went in front of UBS a few years ago. So a lot of banks are having to turn around to their clients and say, you must confirm to us that this money is declared and your taxation affairs in your home country are in order.
Is there any way for them to get around this now, or how do they manage it?
Certain countries have held various amnesties, but a lot of these situations are very, very complicated and very, very difficult. Many tax authorities don't have much of a sense of humour, and if you want to go and say, I appear to have forgotten to pay my taxes for the last 10 years, it can be rather an expensive event.
Okay, so how do they overcome this? Or, you know, you're a wealth management coach, how would you advise some of your clients? Or
I think one of the things that you have to be very aware of is how to deal with clients, and I talk to a lot of relationship managers about delivering bad news and delivering unwelcome news. Everybody likes to give a happy story, but when you've got to turn around to somebody and say, look, we cannot do business the way we have been doing it and things have to change, it's a question of letting the clients know what's happening and then also trying to provide some form of solution. There are a number of specialist companies in various jurisdictions who can help clients to repatriate money or to declare money at as low a cost as possible, but in some countries it can be a very expensive experience.
so is Switzerland, is it not considered a tax haven anymore?
I think it will be a while before its reputation changes. It's always had that reputation, but I think for wealthy individuals, certainly in America and increasingly in countries like France and Italy and Germany, people will not be looking to Switzerland certainly as a place to bury money again. It's always going to have a thriving banking industry where people can keep money, they can have access to international expertise, but Switzerland will be playing on a much more level playing field with London, New York, Hong Kong, or wherever, where the tax evasion is not a service offered.
So is it attracting less foreign investment or more?
I think the nature of the foreign investment is changing. So you are getting more money from countries where these taxation issues are not so well defined, from the Middle East, from Russia, from the Far East and so forth. But you will see a decrease in assets managed in Switzerland for people in Europe and in the United States. That has already happened.
And do you think personally as a wealth management consultant that this increased transparency is a positive thing for Switzerland?
I think it's a very positive thing long term, so long as the institutions can make sure they're aware of what they're offering. Previously, for a lot of clients, the offering was basically, we'll bury your money and won't tell anybody about it. Now they're going to have to turn around to offering investment performance, to offering something that the clients are happy to pay for. The international expertise is there, but they're going to have to be delivering on the investment side of life as well, and asset management.
Osmond, thank you for that, and thank you for joining us today.
You're very welcome.
And that's all we have time for now, but do check back later for further updates and interviews from the Dukascopy TV team. Bye for now.